Welcome to Rosalind the Pet Psychic's podcast, the show where animal intuition meets untold stories. I'm Rosalind, your host and resident pet psychic. Each week, we dive into the unbelievable, the heartwarming, and sometimes the downright haunting tales from the animal world, told by the people who live them, whether it's a horse who knew too much and spilled the tea, a trainer who crossed the line, or a pet with a message from beyond. We're here to explore the deeper truths behind the stories that leave us wondering, what do our animals know that we don't? This program may include real names, places, and events when shared with consent, as well as stories that have been anonymized or fictionalized to protect the identity and safety of individuals. The content of this podcast is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. Views expressed by the host and guest are personal opinions and conjecture and should not be interpreted as fact or as professional advice. With some episodes may include educational insights or expert commentary, listeners are encouraged to use their own judgment and consult appropriate professionals when needed. Got a wild horse, dog, or cat story, breeding gone wrong, buyer beware, a riding mishap with a lesson? I want to hear it. If you're in the holistic or horse world and want to share your story or even promote your biz, head to rosalindthepetpsychic.com and text or email me. You might be featured on the podcast. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Rosalind the Pet Psychic. We are here with another story about a horse trader and a trader deal gone wrong in a way, not the way that we wanted it to go. And my guest is going to tell us her story of dealing with this horse trader and all of the things that happened and how to avoid it and what the process was for her. So welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Tell us how you first found your horse. How did this all start?
I'm very new to having horses. I had a horse that ended up bucking me off. I had to sell him. I was on the lookout for a super safe horse that anyone could ride. While I was looking, this horse came across my Facebook, and ultimately he had the whole package. He looked perfect. I ended up reaching out.
Do you have a trainer? Did you have a trainer then? Do you have a trainer now that helps support you? Or are you doing all of this all by yourself?
Nope, I was looking all by myself. I do have a really good friend who's in horses. I had her come with me to look at every single horse I went to look at, and she knows a lot more than I did at the time, but no trainer.
It's always good to let the audience know like how raw or new you are at these things.
Yeah.
Your initial conversations with your initial conversations with the horse trader, how did that go? How did you feel about it? Did you talk to them over the phone, or was this all via text? How did y'all communicate? Was it all via text, or what did happen?
So it was all via text or honestly over Facebook Messenger. And at first she seemed really nice and she gave me a lot of information about him. But then she started getting like super pushy and kept saying, "Oh, you're just going to love him," and reassured me that he was perfect and super safe. But yeah, she was super pushy, wanted me to come look at him that day and I couldn't. And yeah.
Did she tell you anything like he's not going to be here, somebody else is looking at him? Did she make you feel like he was going to be gone if you didn't go see him?
She did say that he was a really good horse and he probably would sell quick, but otherwise, no, she didn't say that anybody was coming out to look at him or anything.
When you first went to see the horse, what did you notice about his behavior or the environment? Were there any red flags?
First, when I first met him, they had him in cross ties and they tacked him up fine. There was really no red flags there. When she got on him, he rode great. She was pretty hard on him, she rode in spurs. But otherwise, no, there was nothing that was red flags wise. The only red flag was when I said I would take him and we talked about the offer. When she walked away to go write up the paperwork, she did just leave him standing in cross ties as we walked away, and he was all by himself in cross ties. I thought that was a little bit of a red flag.
Okay. So did you get to ride him that day?
I did get to ride him, and my friend actually got on him to ride him, and everything was fine. He did everything perfectly. He did seem, I will say, a little kind of out of it. He seemed very, I don't want to say like tired, but kind of lazy, kind of tired, a little out of it. Nothing that I would have red flagged as like, oh, this horse was drugged, but he didn't have like a ton of pep in him or anything crazy. So I don't know.
Did his face look sleepy?
Yeah, but he didn't have any kind of like drooping of his bottom lip or anything. We did make sure to look at that. His eyes seemed a little sleepy, but we did go see him at like 8, 9 o'clock at night. So we just attributed it to that. So not that she like drugged him or anything, but that was, one other red flag.
Okay. All right. So you rode him that day. Did y'all take him home that night?
We did. So after we did the paperwork and I paid, she kind of just said, okay, well, he's yours. And so I took him out of the barn and we brought him up to my trailer. And beforehand, I did ask her over Facebook Messenger, hey, does he trailer okay? I have a slant load. I don't have a stock trailer. And she reassured me that he trailered and actually sent me a video of him getting on a stock trailer. And all the video was as him going straight on and then turning around and getting off. So when we went to get him on the trailer, he got on okay, and then my friend trailer tied him, and he sat back and pinned my friend in the trailer and almost hurt her pretty bad, and she yelled and asked me to go get.
Goodness.
Yeah, so
Okay.
she panicked and she told me to go grab the girls who sold us him. So I ran down, got them. By the time I got up, she was able to get the slant shut with him standing on the trailer in the trailer tie. But he was pawing at the trailer, like very dancey, very anxious. You could just tell he was super nervous. And then when we asked them about it, and she said, we don't trailer tie him, so that's why he did that. So she kind of like gaslit us and made us think that we were in the wrong and that there's nothing wrong with him. And the reason that he's so antsy is because we trailer tied him.
Wow, that's crazy.
So we just said okay and ended up taking him home.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Did y'all untie him after you had at least like had the divider up? Did you untie him to see if it would help him calm down?
No, we kind of just left him tied. Just took him out. We figured it'd probably be the safest, especially since he was so antsy and pawing and moving his head till he got home.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing. So I totally agree. What red flags did you notice in hindsight? Like, did you notice anything?
Hindsight, looking back at everything, one of the red flags was how pushy she was for me to come look at him. Another red flag would have been the video I got. He did get on and off the trailer, and she reassured me that he trailered great, but he did hesitate for a second to get on the trailer. It was a super short, quick video. And my friend said, yeah, he hesitated, but he got on. So that's all that matters. So we took it with a grain of salt and just said, okay. So that was a little bit of a red flag. Otherwise, just all the pushiness. You're going to love him. You're going to love him. Come see him.
Okay. When did you realize something might be seriously wrong?
So honestly, I didn't think anything was seriously wrong until the second time we went to go see them and ride with them, because she was supposed to show me a few things, a few buttons he had, and a few things of riding him, what I could do with him. That's when I really knew there was something wrong.
Well, now, was that after y'all purchased him or?
Yes. So after we purchased him, we decided to haul him plus my friend's barrel horse up there to get a few tips from her with like some of his buttons, some of the things he does. And then also she took her barrel horse to get a few tips on like bit issues and what kind of bit she should use on her. So we went to ride in their indoor that day.
What was that like?
Getting there. So he got at home, he got on the trailer just fine. He didn't stand in the slant great, but I didn't trailer tie him and I was able to close the slant and get him on no problem. When we got there and I got him off the trailer, he was very antsy, but I was able to get him off the trailer and take him down and tack him up. And then once we got into the indoor and she came in, she actually got on him and he was super antsy, not having it. She spurred him pretty good, whipped him, tried to make him lope, and he did everything she asked, and he wasn't dangerous about it. But after we were done riding, we went to go put him back on the trailer, and he absolutely refused to get on the trailer. I tried maybe about 5 or 6 times trying to get him on myself, and he would not get on, completely refused, and he's never done that before. And this was the second time I've hauled him total at that point. So once we realized we couldn't get him on, the two girls came out and they said, let us help. So at first they tried loading him on, did the same thing, total refusal. And then it escalated from there where they ended up.
All right, guys, I just want to stop right here for a second and give you a warning. This gets a little more graphic for those that are empathetic and sensitive. You might want to skip over 30 seconds. What she talks about in this horse loading from these two girls is unethical and inhumane to this horse. And if you are a sensitive listener, I just want to give you this chance to pause real quick and skip over 30 seconds so you don't have to hear this.
Up cattle pronging him. They ended up twitching him. They ended up whipping him. There's one point that he reared and he striked at both the girls. Multiple times he did that. He would turn his head and just bullnose his head and just pull so hard. And one time he got loose. It was awful. It took us about 45 minutes. And at one point he just totally gave up and ended up walking on the trailer, but it was awful.
That's hard. That's hard. I'm gonna have to. Sorry, we might have to take a second here because I did not expect that, and I say this because for the listeners, my very first show, my first two-parter, the lady that sold to my client now that we're talking with sold her horse to that one, and she could not describe the trailer loading because it was so horrific. And now I see why, because none of that is trailer education to how to load a horse.
Oh, no.
And I say this because my trainer is so good at loading. That's like one of the things he's known so much for is how to help a horse understand how to load. And it's a mind thing. It feels like a torturing process of I'm just going to beat you down and get you so tired that you load.
That's
You're just gonna
exactly what
give
it
up.
was.
That's how it feels.
That's exactly what it was. He
That's a
was
lot.
literally beat onto that trailer.
Okay. Yes, this is not good. So, and both women were doing this?
Yes, yes. And I think even though I
And
only had him for a week, I think he knew that he could trust me to a point where all of like the mean stuff he did, the rearing, the striking, the bullnosing, the everything he did that was dangerous and mean, he did it towards them. He never once, even I've had him for a year, 2 years now, a year. He has never once shown a mean bone in his body towards me with any of that.
so you bought him like over a year ago?
Now I'm gonna have to think. When was it? Gosh, hold on.
I
Can
say
I take
this
a pause and look?
because she's pretty. Oh yeah, yes. We are not in a hurry.
Let me look
I
because
say
I can
this
tell
for the
you.
viewers because she is so hot right now in her scandals on social media that
Mhm.
if it was over a year for you, then she's been doing this a while since has been out of jail.
So August 23rd, 3.
Oh wow. Okay,
So
so yeah,
almost 2 years in
almost two
August is
years.
when I bought him.
So one thing I keep reading on social media is that that this is like a family owned business. Did you feel like it was family owned and safe there at the beginning or any time?
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, I felt like this was a safe business. I saw a lot of really nice horses coming out of their barn, and we did get a chance to know them over the couple weeks of buying, and it seemed family owned, but the one girl was paid to be there and show horses out of and consign horses. So, I mean, yeah, it was family owned.
But so and I guess what I'm hearing from you is there was a whole family business going on there, and then on the side was someone else.
Yes.
There's this
Yes.
lady there that's making all this money and selling these horses that don't quite
Yes,
look like
exactly.
what the family owned business looks like, or the family owned horses, I guess, look like.
That's exactly it. Yes, she was selling horses basically out of their indoor.
Okay. So I have more questions to ask you, but I can't go forward because if I do, I feel like I'll get more information than I need to actually channel him and
Okay.
talk with him. And so what I feel from so I'm just going to explain some things about him, and I just need you to tell me yes or no because I know we're not saying his name. He is a bay horse. He has no white on him. I'm going to look back at his pictures. He doesn't even have a mean bone in his body.
Literally no mean bone in his body. I've never seen him be mean other than that night.
That wasn't him being mean. That was survival.
Okay. That makes total sense.
That's what I just asked him. I said, "Oh, you're not mean at all?" And he's like, "Oh, no." He's like, "But I
Eh,
will survive." And I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." He feels like a contrast horse/horse that has more human personality than most. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, he's super gentle. He's very loving. He will walk behind me when we're walking, like give me my space. And when I don't want my space, he's right up in my face wanting all the scratches. He is very understanding. He knows what I'm saying to him. He's very smart.
He's such a good boy. He is also very when you say smart, the thing that comes to mind is I have a lot of horses that are very cloudy. I will contribute that to gluten. People think I'm crazy, but that their brain feels very cloudy. His does not feel cloudy. His feels very intellectual that he can learn things and process them, which is why he had such a hard time on the trailer and why he has a hard time on the trailer. It's not because he absolutely hates the trailer, although he does not like the noises. I would suggest maybe trying some earplugs. However, I would want more understanding from him with the trailer before I did earplugs because he wants to be able to think and understand things, and that's the difference with how he's been trailered than how he is. And the other reason why trailering is so hard for him, which is another reason why I would do earplugs, because he kind of shows me ting 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 noises, and it's very sharp and unnerving to him. And then he
Okay.
does not like how, and I get this, and he's showing me this, how it feels under his feet because it's
Okay.
not as stable, and that's just the way the trailer is. So the one thing a couple of things actually that you could do with him is letting him figure it out. It's and always I would not say kind. You want to always be kind with him, but you also have to be firm and boundaries. The other part is his pressure, the pressure he feels from the trailer and from how people have, as he shows me, like shoved him on the trailer is so much pressure because it wasn't them letting him figure it out. He likes
Okay.
to process and think through obstacles and things. The other thing that you might could get him, feel like he will do things with you, learning things. I feel like will be a great like trail pleasure class horse. Like if you ever wanted to show him,
Okay.
but if you ever got a teeter totter, have you
Okay.
ever thought about getting a teeter totter?
No. Okay. No.
I'm pretty sure he feels like a horse that would do a lot of trail class stuff where, you have to pull the rope and the log and you have to go up to the side of the fence or you have to like
Yeah.
turn. He's smart enough to figure a lot of that stuff out because I feel like he's smart enough to figure out how to sideline and side pass over. And a teeter totter would be a great stepping stone of how to train him and get him more used to the feeling safe and things moving at the same time, which is what a trailer does to him.
True. Okay.
And it's not about him going over the teeter totter. It's about him feeling it out and having first steps and processing and being a good boy. And the reason I say that is with the teeter totter, you have to just start by getting one foot up there. Right.
Yeah.
So that's exactly how a trailer is. And you could practice on the trailer too. It's let me get you, like, give me one foot, good boy. Okay. Then let me back you back off. Then like, okay, let's get another foot. And maybe we get the second foot. Okay, great. Let's back you back off because it's not about getting him on the trailer. It's about getting him understanding how to get on the trailer and what happens and all the feels of every step at a time.
Okay.
And that with him, because he is what I call a good boy horse, when you build up his confidence one thing at a time and you actually pause and let him process and then even like back him back off of it so he knows there's not a whole bunch of pressure unless he puts the pressure on, then he can process it and work through it and feel safe. And he is learning how to calm himself down and self-soothe because a trailer is not like getting ridden. Being ridden is something that he can process because he doesn't want anything to happen to you. So he doesn't overreact when you ride him. The pressure of the trailer is so high that
Yeah.
he has his past interfering with the moment, which makes him very scared and unsure, and he can't think as clearly. And then he has the trailer, like how do you calm him down in that moment so he doesn't have all of his past interfering, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Makes total sense. And that's where things get dangerous in there with him is when he kind of gets a little nervous.
Yeah, and that's when I would like want to stop him or slow him down or back him back up so he can calm down. And then because the thing is, it's not about getting on the trailer. is having the mindset to be able to get on the trailer and be able to handle it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when they learn mindset over force, you have a different horse.
Absolutely. You're right.
Yeah. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. That is completely a lot from my trainer and how he has trained me to do things.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I always see horses, they're forced, there's repetition, or there's understanding. There's probably some other things you could explain it, but your horse likes understanding. Some horses need repetition, and none of them need so much bad stuff that they can't even function. Like that's not where we're all trying to go. Since all of this stuff happened with him, how has his behavior changed after all of these experiences?
So, well, after getting him home that night that he got beat on the trailer, it took us months and months and months to even be able to get him to set a foot on the trailer. There was a point where, and I did all the good things with rewarding and trying to let him check it out himself and trying to let him do it himself. And we even had to put it down, like put the trailer and put some panels up around the trailer and kind of let him put his food on there and see if he would even just get on to eat. It had to come to a point where I had to have like 5 or 6 people here just to get him on. It took us maybe 2 hours with pulling and trying to get him on to take him to somebody to teach him how to trailer because there was nobody that was going to come here to help me. So we ended up getting him on, but there was a few times where he would run off the back and he reared at one point and fell and took out a couple panels and probably hurt himself. We ended up getting him on. I took him to a trainer. The trainer kept him for 30 days and worked on his trailering, and she was able to get him safely on the trailer stand and be able to shut the slant. So that took us months and months and months to be able to get him to a point where he would even just get on a trailer again after being beat so bad. And ever since then, he still struggles with the trailer. I feel like if anybody else would even remotely try to put him on a trailer, he would panic if it's not me. But he is willing to work with me and get on the trailer with me with some hesitation, but he'll do it for the most part.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad that he trusts enough to let go of some of his past experiences just to get on there. So
Yes. Yeah.
that's
I feel like, yeah, we built up that trust, and I feel like he trusts me enough to let me lead him onto the trailer. And he does give in after maybe 2 or 3 tries, he will get on.
So let me ask you this, from like trauma to recovery, and this just doesn't have to be about your horse, because I know there's probably times when you're like, what happened? How did this happen? What was the most emotional, difficult part of this experience like for you? And how have you been able to get through it?
I think the hardest part for me was I think that was the time where I realized that there are terrible people in the horse world, that you can't trust everybody and every post you read. I guess I'm just thankful that I didn't get a horse that was super dangerous because, I easily could have been sold something that bucked me off and hurt me or broke my arm or leg. And so I think I struggled with that a lot of the time, especially since I bought another horse since then and added it to our herd. And it's just trusting somebody that what they're telling you is correct about the horse, that they're not going to hurt you because you don't know this horse.
Have you spoken to other people or heard from others that have had the same experience since you bought him?
I
With
I
this
have.
person?
I've seen a lot of things about this person, and about the horrible things that she's doing. Yeah, and I've had people ask me, does this horse look okay? Should I go look at this horse? And I see the seller, and I'm like, no, don't. Because you just don't know if she's telling you anything that's true. You don't know if it's a stolen horse. You don't know if you'll get the horse. Like if you bring the money, you don't know if you're even going to get the horse. There's just so many things.
Have you heard that people have bought stolen horses from this person?
I have not personally heard that people have bought stolen horses from this person, no. But you don't know where they're coming from. And most of the horses that they're selling are grade horses. There's no papers with them. It's just word of mouth, or you have to take their word for it. I was told that this horse came from out west. So I don't know if that's true or not. I don't even think she told me a state of where he came from out west. So she's purely a horse flipper. before. She barely knows anything about these horses. I don't even think she had the horse I bought from her for a couple of weeks, if that.
Wow. So let me ask you this, because this is what happened with the last person I talked to. Has his body conformation changed? Does he look healthier since you've had him? Has him overall changed?
Absolutely. Wise, when he was with her, he did look pretty decent, but attitude and just the way his face looks, he looks so much happier, in my opinion, when he's here. The pictures she sent me originally, I don't know, you could just tell he didn't look happy.
Yeah, I get
But
that.
fit wise, he looked appropriate when he was with her. I mean, she fed him and he was, well maintained.
Okay, very good. What would you tell to other people that are looking to buy a horse? Like, how would you help them navigate a process so they know not to, or would try not to experience something like this?
I would say never send a deposit to anybody. Actually go look at the horse in person and take somebody, if you do not know enough about horses, which I didn't, take somebody with you who knows a lot, who knows what they're looking for. Never just count on a video that they do what you're asking. Make sure you always do it when you're there. I wish, hindsight, I would have loaded him on and off my trailer a few times with her out there, to see what he would do. That way I knew what I was getting into, but I didn't. And I took her word for it that he just has never been trailer tied and just took it from there. But yeah, those would be my recommendations.
Okay, I love this. If you so let me ask you this. What does justice look like if you think there is any justice in this situation, or the situations overall? What do you feel like?
My story isn't as bad as, most of the stories I've heard. I didn't lose money on him other than having to send him to a trainer to fix the trailering issue I think that she created, or somebody created. So my story isn't as bad as others, but I think that seeing everything that's going on with other people, the money being stolen, the things being stolen, the lies that we're telling, I think she should get in some trouble. I mean, these people are losing money on good horses that were supposed to be good horses,
Yeah, I've seen that
if that
as
makes
well.
sense.
It does. So, how is your horse doing today?
He's doing great. I mean, we still have an issue with trailering, and I always get nervous to take him to places, like worrying that he's not going to get back on. What am I going to do if we're stranded somewhere trail riding? But he's doing good. He will get back on when there's food in front of his face, of course. He's food motivated, but otherwise, he's happy here. He's loving his friends that he has here. So I'm just glad he's out of that environment too.
And so, what's one moment with your horse that reminded you he's still the amazing partner that you believed in, and why you wanted him?
I think that moment for me had to have been when we were down in the round pen and I was messing with him and riding him around. And I have a fear of being bucked off because I was bucked off in the past and I never want that to happen again. So we were down in the round pen and I had outdoor cats, and this cat jumped up on his back and clawed his butt to get back up, like to get on my lap while I was on him. And this good boy, all he did was tucked his butt and took like maybe a step, and he knew that I was nervous and he stopped. So at that point, I'm like, oh, buddy, that I didn't want to fall off. And he did his best not to overreact. So he made sure I didn't fall off or get hurt.
I love this. I love it. That's what I felt from him from the very beginning. Is like he doesn't want anybody to fall or get hurt from him, but he also doesn't want to get hurt from anybody else. It's a very
Agreed.
mutual respect. He's like the man you always wanted to date. I was like, I'll put up with your crap. I'll support you. But the moment that you turn, it's like, no, no, no.
Yes. And he's so good with my daughter. My daughter will run underneath his legs and he won't move. He'll put his head down for her. Like, he's so gentle.
So let me ask you, why did you decide to speak out about this now?
I think seeing everybody's stories on Facebook and everywhere that you're seeing these stories come up with these people, I think that's why I wanted to come out. I wanted people to know they're not alone, that they didn't buy a horse that had issues that were told didn't have issues and caused years of trauma to both of you. I just wanted people to know that they're not alone in this, that this has happened to lots of people.
What do you hope that listeners take away from your story?
I hope they take away that even though you bought a horse that has issues, it doesn't mean that you guys can't work through it. It might take months to years to figure it out. But now that we kind of figured some things out with the trailer and we're getting to a good point, that we're inseparable. He is the best horse. He's such a good boy. And, that might have got me down a lot because I felt like I couldn't take him to a lot of places. But once we worked through it, now I feel like I can take him anywhere.
Oh, I love this. This is good. And another thing I will say too is when you have the confidence that they're going to get on the trailer, they will have the confidence to get on the trailer. It's when we start second guessing it and putting that energy out, like, is this going to happen? That sometimes that messes it up. And so it's trying to like reframe that in your mind. Like, yes, you can do this. We can do this. We're going to be fine.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, it could be a lot of mental, so I say this to everyone, the animals see in pictures. So if your picture is, this is not going to happen, then that's what they're seeing. But if your picture is, they're going to get on the whole trailer, it's going to be okay, they're going to be fine, everything's gonna be fine, then that's the picture you're portraying. So every time I ask them questions, I'm showing them a picture, and then they're showing me a picture back, and I have to decipher the picture. I will say to everybody as well that's listening is my trainer who will travel, his name is Bruce Anderson. He's Nature's View. He has a YouTube channel, and I think he has some trailering videos on there. He's really good at helping them to understand why they're getting trailered and like what the process is like and how to make it safe. And so I always would suggest people going and looking at some of those videos to get some more information and ideas on how to trailer. Does your little girl have blonde hair?
Kinda. It's like kinda. It's not like fully blonde, but it's like a dirty blonde, kind of
Is it
light
wavy
brown.
and curly, or when she was little, was it curly?
No, straight. It's like
Is
straight,
it
wavy, straight.
okay? Yeah, like but it's not like bone straight. It's got some. I say this like, is it shoulder length on her?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Does he put his nose? Does he put his nose on her head all the time?
Yeah, he does. He puts his nose like down by her shoulder and around her head when she'll let him.
That makes sense. Because he loves how her shampoo smells.
That's adorable.
He loves how,
Oh.
and like, she's just so sweet. It reminds me of when kids have, I don't know, I used to have like the strawberry shortcake or those little dolls that smelled like perfumes and
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
So that just he just thinks that she smells so sweet
Oh
and
my God,
loves
that's so
how
cute.
she cackle, like she laughs and giggles, and I don't know if she just always has this boisterous energy about her, but or not
Oh my
boisterous, but I
God, she
guess
does.
yeah. And she's so the best way to describe it is like flippity, because like she's over here one minute, then she's over there one minute, and then
Oh,
he's just like
100%. 100%.
he just loves how carefree and safe she feels around him.
Okay, that's really good because like I'll put her on his back and I love knowing that he would be safe with her too.
Does
Oh,
she
that's
try to hug his
awesome.
leg?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, all the
Okay,
time.
yeah, because he showed me that too,
All the time.
which is just he is very aware that she's there, and it's okay. He just likes kids. That some of them love
That's
kids,
awesome.
yeah, because they have
Oh,
good energy. They always have good intentions and good energy, and with horses, kids are usually so big they can't really do bad things to them, if that makes sense. So they don't
yeah.
feel it. Yeah, it's never like they can't pull their hair like a dog, and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So anything you want me to ask him?
I guess only thing I would like to know so once he gets on the issue I'm having with the trailer is once I get him on the trailer, I can get him on no problem. I can get him to stand. Usually what I have is I have a bucket in there with some food and he'll stand for a second and eat, and that's when I'm able to shut the slant because he tries to turn around and follows me. And I trailer tie him to to stop him from doing that. And then that's when he feels the trailer tie pull. I think that's when he gets nervous. So I guess my question is there anything else I can help him to stand still and not be so antsy when I'm trying to get the slant closed?
Yes, take the food off. Take the food off and work on him in the trailer without the food.
Okay.
And you don't have to trailer him. You don't have to go anywhere. You just have to be able to get on and off the trailer and let him calm and process.
Okay.
That
Okay.
and that might also be where you do get a trainer or someone to come help you, because that is or don't do it while you're by yourself, because that's a high pressure situation for you and for
Yes.
him.
Yes.
And the whole thing is, how do you get calmer in trailering? And so you're not trying to trailer him. You are trying to help him be calm while in the process of trailering, or in the process of actually loading. You're just trying to be calm and keep your feet still. Not you, him. He has to, I'm going to give you my trainer's information, because he travels a little bit. So I think he was just up in your area not too long ago. And so the whole thing is, how do you get them to learn to keep their feet still, and learn to keep their feet still in the process of this, and then also learn how to breathe through it and realize that they're safe. The food is such a crutch that it hinders him, because once the food is gone, then he's like, how did I get in this situation?
Okay,
Because
because he doesn't even seem to eat it anymore. Like, he'll take a bite, and that way he's able to stand, and then when I get on there, like, to get him off, it's still in there. Like, he's not eating it.
yeah, and so if you take the food out, then you just have your training tools. You don't have
Okay.
your food tools. And
True,
so
true.
my thing, like with my dogs is a good example, and with the horses I work on, a lot of times they know the word So usually means like, don't keep moving, because something worse could happen, because the noise is going to get higher, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
when you're trying to get out, he needs to be able to voice command to say whether he can go or whether he can stay. And so a lot of times it's like, and it's like, wait, what? Okay, so I got to stand still. And then you
Okay.
let him process. Am I making any sense? It's hard to
Yeah.
visualize this.
No, yeah, absolutely. So just like, say easy, like, to make him stand still.
Yeah, because if he would get on there and just stand there, and then you turn around and come back off, actually, I don't even think I would turn around. If he stands on there, I'd back him back out.
He won't back out. That's another issue. He will not back out.
Does he
And
back
if
up on the
he
ground?
Yes, he will. But if he backs up on a trailer, it is running. He is running off. And that's where he gets dangerous too, because when we originally had him down, like, we had to take him to a trainer to get trailered. She even said, like, the trainer after 30 days said, dude, just don't back him off. She's like, he gets so nervous backing off. He's so scared. He runs off. She's like, just turn him around in the trailer. So that's what I've been doing.
So that's why you do the first foot, and then you take him off, and then you do the second foot, and then you take it off, then you let him get off. So he has to learn how to deal with putting one foot on and backing
Yeah,
one foot off, putting 2 foot on and backing 2 feet off.
true.
And you break it, like, because that's the breaking it down. It's not
Okay.
about getting on the trailer. It's about putting that 1 foot up there and getting used to it, and then taking that 1 foot off. And also in that process, this is another reason why it would be great to meet my trainer, is because he talks about alpha mindset. Alpha mindset means, how can I help you? And his other word for it is tyrant mindset, which is, tyrant is, I'm going to do what I want to do. And for your horse, he has so much of, I'm going to do what I want to do and get the heck off the trailer because I'm scared.
Yes.
And we want him to have alpha mindset, that I can put 1 foot on the trailer and then take 1 foot off, and then put another foot on the trailer, and then put another one on there, and like pause, because you're mentally giving him alpha. But now if he goes
Okay.
and then he's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, then you have to like break it back down to those steps so it's not so crazy, because the crazy part is the tyrant mindset. And that is the mindset that doesn't work in human world.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He needs the mindset of, I am safe and I am okay, and I can work through this pressure.
Okay.
I will say with him, because the fear that he instills with you and anybody else, because he cannot process it, it's great to work with someone like Bruce, because they aren't scared of that kind of stuff and can help the horse to do what it needs to do. And also, the thing that Bruce talks about is, wherever the head goes, the body goes. So
Yeah.
if his head can't get turned around to fly off the trailer, he can't necessarily fly off the trailer.
Okay.
But
See,
it's like,
yeah, he'll back off the trailer. He runs back.
well,
He
and that's
runs.
when you kind of like slow him down. Where are you going? Where's your feet going? So you help him in the moments instead of help him be ridiculous in the moments. And Bruce works with them
Yes.
when they're flying off backwards. He helps them to slow down. And
Okay.
that's because, and this is just an advanced horse thing that you're learning, is just because he's having a problem with it, it doesn't mean that we give up or let him get away with it. We help him through the
True.
problem. This also
Okay.
doesn't mean we get killed. or like something bad happened to us because we're trying to do this. It's how do you break it down for them and how do you help them?
Okay.
And so if he's flying off the trailer backwards, because I understand his fear, and he hasn't been able to walk off a trailer backwards and feel safe, so he just rather rush through it.
Makes
And
sense.
so
Okay.
what you've done with him is everything has felt safe. You have a great minded horse. He's just had some really crappy things done to him.
Yeah. Just as long as he's happy. That's all I care about.
Yes, he's happy. And he knows that you're doing all this to help him. He's not one of those horses that doesn't know these things. He 100% does.
Good boy.
How old
That's
is
all
he?
He's 12.
Okay. Very good. Very good. How old did she say he was?
10 when I bought him.
Okay,
And she
so the
said that was
age.
age verified. Yeah, I don't know. I will let you know. I think my equine dentist is coming out tomorrow. That's the first time he's going to have his teeth done in general since being there. And I'll ask her what she thinks how old he is, and I'll let you know.
He feels older. That's why I was curious.
Oh, no. Okay.
But that's okay, because they could be healthy. You never know.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
they can always be healthier. My other question is, did she vet him? Did anybody vet him before you got him?
They said, yeah, she said he went through a vet exam, and she gave me a piece of paper that just said there was really not much on it. That just said he was healthy, basically. But that was it. So
What about
no real.
shots?
He was up to. I really got to think about this. I don't know. Hold on, I think I have the paperwork still. I can look at the paperwork.
Yeah, I'm always curious. So if you say paperwork, how much paperwork did you get from
Oh,
her?
nothing. Like maybe three, like one or two papers, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Nothing crazy. Nikki, okay, here's the paperwork. Anemia lab test. It looks like they did. Okay, so I got oh, never mind. He was 13 when I bought him. He was on his post. I'm pretty sure she said he was 10. Hold on. I can find that. Hold on. I never looked at the paperwork. I think I could find it again. Hold on.
So that is a good thing to know.
Hold on.
Is whenever whatever they post on Facebook, you need to compare it to the paperwork that you get.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I never did that.
That's okay, like, because it's a process.
Because she still has his sale add up from years ago.
What?
Yeah.
Did she put sold on it?
Yeah, I think so. It was posted years ago, so I don't think she's obviously still selling him.
Okay, okay, that makes sense.
10 years old. He was, yeah. In his post, he was posted for 10 years old. And on his paperwork, when I bought him paperwork, he was 13-year-old. So he is 15 now.
Yeah, because I felt like he was 15, so that's why I was wondering.
So on the paperwork, all it says was, I'm the regular veterinarian providing care for horses in her boarding stable. On this date, I examined this bay horse. He showed no signs of illness or communicable diseases, told his temperature and everything was within normal limits, and that was it. And then I think this is Coggins. Yeah, Coggins were negative.
Okay.
So that's the paperwork I got on that. Yes, they lied about the age, and that's my other horse. So that's all I got was that. That was my paperwork.
Interesting. Okay.
Thanks.
I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I really have enjoyed having people on here learning more about the horse buying process with traders and all that kind of stuff. And if you are a trainer or a horse person and you have an interesting story about purchasing horses, or I don't know, maybe you just want to share your horse story with the rest of the horse world, please let me know. Hit me up on any of my socials or my website, Rosalind the Pet Psychic. I would love to hear about it. I am going to switch over soon to more psychic things and grief and how to work through that processes. Also working with some dogs and cats and stories from, some more different pets. So if you have those as well, please hit me up. I would love to learn anything educational or anything that you would just like to share with other people. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.